Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Sunday, April the 25th. We got a short Sunday slate. We just got a 4-game main slate tonight. There's some early games today. Obviously, I don't really cover the early slate in my videos, just the main. So we're going to cover the 4-game main slate, break it all down team by team like we always do. We'll go through each game and talk about each team. Let you guys know what stands out to me looking at this like the night before, where my head's at, the guys that I'm really looking to target first look. So before we get started with the breakdown, as always, guys, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like button down below. If you are new to the channel here, be sure to click that subscribe button as well and click the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload. You also do get notified every time I live stream. To be determined if I'm able to stream Sunday or not. Normally I don't stream on the weekends, but I might go live for this little slate. Maybe just a little short stream, 25-30 minutes sometime Sunday afternoon, to be determined. But if I do go live Sunday, I'll probably be live around 4:30, 5 Eastern time if you guys do want to come and hang out then. But yeah, 4 games to break down. Let's go ahead and start off with the Cleveland and Washington game. So looking at the Cavs side here, pretty important news to talk about from Cleveland. This is not a team that I've really been rostering much lately, but I definitely do like some Cavs today because Colin Sexton is out, which is obviously pretty big news. Colin Sexton plays a ton of minutes. He's one of the highest usage players on this Cavs team. So getting him off the floor, they're going to be a couple of beneficiaries. And I think the first guy that we can look to is Darius Garland. $7,200 for Darius Garland. He kind of feels priced appropriately. It's not like we're getting a great price on Garland, but I would say that he has the upside to pay off this price tag, especially in a really good matchup against the Wizards. Obviously, this is a team that we've targeted a lot this season. The Wizards play fast. They don't play much defense. They have been better defensively lately, but they still are a fast-paced team. So this is a big-time pace-up spot for the Cavs. I do have a lot of interest in Darius Garland. I think without Sexton, his upside just, it's a lot higher. His floor is higher. He's shown a pretty high floor lately, though. I mean, you look at the game log. I know game log's not everything, but he's got at least 32 DK points in 10 straight games. We know he's going to play huge minutes as long as the game stays close. Darius Garland I like quite a bit today with Colin Sexton out. I like him a good amount on Yahoo too. He's a little bit more affordable there, $26. I think he does stand out as one of the better mid-range options at point guard today. Jared Allen, though, I don't have a ton of interest in. Same with like Kevin Love and Larry Nance. Really, I think the backcourt is where I'm going to be looking to from Cleveland with a guy like Garland. And then we'll have to wait and see who starts for Colin Sexton. I don't exactly know what they're going to do with the starting lineup. They could maybe start Dellavedova. They can maybe start Damian Dotson if he's able to play. Dotson's currently questionable. He hasn't played in a while, I don't think. Yeah, he hasn't played in almost a month. My best guess is that probably like maybe Thomas or Dellavedova starts. If Delly starts alongside Darius Garland, then Dellavedova is definitely a decent value play. He's minimum salary on DraftKings. He's the zone minimum. It's going to be really hard for him to fail at this price point. Now, obviously, Dellavedova is not a guy that has massive upside. Even in that game, I think Garland and Sexton were both out this day against the Pelicans. Dellavedova played 34 minutes. He still only had 27 DK points. He's not a great point per minute player, but if he's going to start and play anywhere near 30 minutes in a great matchup against the Wizards at the minimum salary, Dellavedova is definitely a good value play today if he does wind up starting. So I will have interest in him. If Cedi Osman starts, I think Cedi Osman becomes probably my favorite value play on the slate. He's a great point per minute player, especially when he's not having to play alongside Sexton. Obviously, getting Sexton off the floor is going to benefit Cedi Osman. The only concern is that Osman, he hasn't even been in the rotation lately. Even with Taurean Prince out, Osman hasn't played in almost 2 weeks. He's been just a healthy scratch, but maybe they finally give him some minutes today. If he does start for Sexton, he'd be viable too, but for now, that's just a wait and see. Really, Darius Garland, though, is the guy that definitely stands out from Cleveland at first look. But then on the Wizards side, this Wizards team is pretty easy to break down for me. Really, Russell Westbrook's the guy I have interest in. Bradley Beal at his price tag, I'm not the biggest fan of. I think his price is just starting to get up there to a point where I don't have a ton of interest in him at nearly $10K. I'd rather pay up for Westbrook. I'd rather pay up for Giannis. There's other studs I like. I'd rather play Steph Curry. So really, it's just Westbrook, and that's probably it. Davis Bertans, I don't mind because without Denny Avdia, without Rui Hachimura, Bertans should probably play around 30 minutes. Surprisingly, he did not start last game. They decided to go with Isaac Bonga in the starting lineup, but we still got 22 minutes from Bertans. He was in foul trouble, so he would have played more had he not been in foul trouble. He'll probably play around 30 minutes off the bench. If you want to go to him at 5,100, he's an okay option. Doesn't really stand out as a great play, though, at this price tag. And same with Raul Neto. Raul Neto's been really popular these last few days. He's played really well, but now that his price is up to 4,800, I just don't think I can really go to Neto at this price tag. If he plays 34, 36 minutes again, sure, he could give you a decent score for his price, but he doesn't really pop anymore at this price tag. When he was 3,400, he was a really good value. Now that he's 4,800, I just have a lot less interest in Neto, so that's probably it. It's really just Westbrook. I think Westbrook's a top pay-up option today if you can get to him. The dude's just been so good lately. I mean, it's hard to argue with what Westbrook has been doing. He's been stuffing the stat sheet, playing a ton of minutes, gives you that triple-double upside basically every night. He's put up a triple-double in what seems like almost every game lately. Westbrook's one of the best stud options almost every slate. Obviously, on a 4-gamer here, nothing's going to change. If you can pay up for Westbrook, he's a top play for sure. He's definitely my favorite guy from the Wizards, but that does it for this game. Moving on to the next one, Milwaukee and Atlanta. So on the Bucks side here, they are basically fully healthy. They have Giannis back. He's back to playing his full minutes. Everyone's pretty much healthy. So when the Bucks are fully healthy, normally I don't really play Drew or Chris Middleton, especially at their price tags. They've both been priced to a point. Obviously, they got priced up a little bit for when Giannis was out that stretch. I just don't want to pay $8,200 for Drew with Giannis playing. I don't want to pay $8K for Chris Middleton with Giannis in. I mean, Middleton, I don't know what happened. I didn't watch that game Sunday, but I don't know what the hell happened or Saturday. Middleton played 20 minutes and had 8 Draftkings points. That's just really weird. But if I'm going to play anyone from Milwaukee, it's going to be Giannis. I think Giannis is one of the better pay-up options today. He continues to play really well. Even in a huge blowout against Philly Saturday, he only played 24 minutes. He still had 58 Draftkings points. Like, we're seeing Giannis back to his normal self. He had that stretch after he came back from injury where he wasn't playing that well, wasn't getting many minutes. Well, he's played normal minutes in 3 straight games. Obviously, the minutes weren't really that high Saturday, but that was due to the blowout. Played 35 minutes the game before that against the Sixers, played 35 minutes against Phoenix. As long as this game stays close against Atlanta, we're probably going to get 34, 36 minutes from Giannis. He, along with Westbrook, is one of my favorite studs. We do have a lot of good guard plays that I like today, so I think paying up at power forward is going to make a lot more sense than paying up at guard, just because we're going to talk about a lot of other guards that I like. But if I can find a way to maybe play Westbrook and Giannis together, I definitely want to try and go that route. But for now, Giannis, I think, is my favorite stud. He's a guy that I want to try and jam in on both sides. I like him a lot on Yahoo too. $54 at power forward. He's clearly one of the best power forward plays today if you can fit him in. And especially with how soft the pricing is on Yahoo, should be very easy to do that. But that basically does it for Milwaukee. It's really just Giannis for me, nothing else. Now on the Atlanta side, Atlanta is definitely a team we have to talk about because Trae Young, once again, going to be out for today, while Clint Capella is currently questionable. Capella was out their last game. Who knows if he plays? It's just a guessing game at this point. For now, I'm just going to assume that Capella does play. If he's playing, at 9K, you could pay up for Clint Capella, but I don't think I'm going to be going to him on this slate. He feels a little bit too pricey. I know he's had some good games recently. I know Capella has a ton of upside, but I'm a little bit hesitant to pay 9K for him, especially now that John Collins is back and Collins is playing close to his normal minutes. I don't really like Capella that much if he's in. Bogdanovic, I do have some interest in. More so on Yahoo, though. He's a lot more affordable there. If you look at the shooting guard position, Bogdan's only $25. I think he looks like one of the best shooting guard plays on Yahoo, just way too cheap over there. Without Trae Young last game, we got 33 minutes from Bogdan. He did start at point guard, had 38 fantasy points, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal. Bogdan's been really good with Trae off the floor this year. Should continue to produce, should continue to play big minutes. I like him a lot on Yahoo. Tougher to pay $8,100 for him on DK, though, because at that price point, he needs to give you almost 50 DK points, whereas on Yahoo, if you get 35, 40 from Bogdan, that's really good at his salary, whereas, obviously on DK, you need a lot more than that. So I like him more on Yahoo, not as much on DK. Now, John Collins, even with Clint Capella out last game, Collins did play 32 minutes, but he wasn't very productive, only had 32 DK points. His upside and his floor is a lot higher when you do take Clint Capella off the floor. It was good to see Collins get back to normal minutes last game. If Capella is out again, I do have some interest in John Collins. I think he's going to be super low owned, which does make him appealing. They didn't start him at center last game. They decided to go with Okongwu at center, and I'm assuming that Okongwu will start at center again if he's able, or if Capella's out. But even though Collins won't be starting at center, he still does get a boost without Clint Capella, so I don't mind him at $7,400. Again, looks a lot better on Yahoo, a lot more affordable there, only $24. I'll be a lot more likely to play him on Yahoo, but still viable on DK if Capella sits. Kevin Huerter, another guy I don't have a ton of interest in at his DK price, but on Yahoo, looks really good over there. Just remains too cheap. basically all these Atlanta guys were just way too cheap on Yahoo. Kevin Huerter, only $18. I think he's one of the best small forward plays today, and a guy that I have a lot of interest in on Yahoo. He does stand out a ton over there. Definitely one of my favorite small forwards. But then like Gallo, I don't have much interest in. Lou Will off the bench last game, only played 20 minutes without Trae Young. Like, the minutes are going to be tough to predict from Lou Will. He does have upside off the bench, but I don't think I'm going to go to him on this slate. I liked him a little bit on the last slate, but it wasn't great to see him only play 20 minutes, I should say. They also brought Brandon Goodwin off the bench last game, which was super weird. I was expecting Brandon Goodwin to start. He had started like every game lately that Trae had been out in, and he had played big minutes. Well, he went to the bench last game. Like I said, they started Bogdan at point guard, and Goodwin only played 22 minutes. So if he comes off the bench again, he's going to be really tough to roster at 4,200, just because coming off the bench, he's not going to play nearly as many minutes. And you need the minutes at 4,200. Like, he's not 3K anymore. Obviously, he was super cheap on Friday. I was fine playing him off the bench Friday just because how cheap he was. But now that he's up to 4,200, you kind of need him to be in the starting lineup to pay this price for him. So unless they make a change and they start Goodwin, I'm not going to play Goodwin today unless he's starting, and which doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. So that probably does it for Atlanta for me. Solomon Hill did start Friday. He did play big minutes, but he only had 21 DK points. Like, Solomon Hill just doesn't have much upside. I'm not going to play him even if he starts again. Okongwu, though, I do want to mention, Okongwu didn't have the best game Friday, but if Capella's out again and Okongwu starts, he did play 28 minutes, only had 18 DK points, but I would definitely be willing to go back to him if he does start again, because Okongwu's been a pretty good point per minute player. Starting at center, there's going to be opportunity for him to get rebounds, to get putbacks. He can give you a double-double. We've seen in the past when Capella has missed games that Okongwu does have some upside, so I'll definitely be going to him. I'd be fine going back to him today if Capella sits, but that probably does it for Atlanta. I think we can go ahead and move on to the next game, talk about Indiana and Orlando. So on Indiana today, this is going to be a tough team to break down because we don't really know who's going to be in or out yet. We know Miles Turner is going to remain out, but Goga Batadze, Jeremy Lamb, and Domantas Sabonis were all questionable on Saturday. They all were out. We don't exactly know who's going to be in or out for today's game. Well, I think Sabonis got ruled out beforehand, but I know Lamb, Batadze, and McDermott were all questionable. McDermott wound up playing, but Batadze and Lamb were out. But we don't really have an update here. Sabonis was out Saturday. We don't know if he's going to play today. Lamb was out Saturday. We don't know if he's going to play. Goga was out Saturday. We don't know if he's going to play. For now, I'm just going to assume that these guys are in. If everyone's in, like if Sabonis plays, if Lamb plays, if Goga plays, like, I really don't like much from the Pacers. Everyone kind of feels priced appropriately. Like, O'Shea Brissett's been playing really well, but if Sabonis plays, I have no interest in O'Shea Brissett. If Goga plays, that's going to lower my interest in Brissett. Like, it's just so tough to break down this Pacers team right now. If all these guys are out again, like they were Saturday, then I think we can look to the guys that we played Saturday. Brogdon, LeVert, Brissett. You could definitely go back to TJ McConnell. But Brogdon and LeVert would be the two guys I would be looking to for sure out of the gate if Sabonis, Lamb, and Batadze are in or out. Mainly Sabonis. I think Sabonis is the big one. If he's out, then I do really like Brogdon. I do really like LeVert. And I would like Goga if he were to play, but yeah, it's just a wait and see, man. It's so tough to break down this Pacers team right now until we actually know who's going to be in or out. For now, I'm going to assume everyone plays, and if everyone's in, if Sabonis plays, if Lamb plays, if Goga plays, I really don't like any Pacers on this slate. If I had to play anyone, it'd probably be Sabonis himself, but there's other guys I think I'd rather pay up for over Sabonis. But, without Miles Turner, Sabonis definitely does benefit, and we know his upside's a lot higher when Miles Turner is off the floor. So, yeah, you could go to Sabonis if he plays, but that probably is it for me. If he gets ruled out, though, and all these other guys get ruled out, then, we can look to go back to the guys that have been playing well with all these guys out. Brogdon, LeVert, McConnell, Brissett, those guys. But, yeah, moving on to the other side of this game, talking about Orlando here. So I would say that Orlando is probably like my least appealing, or right now is the least appealing team on the slate. I really don't like any Magic here, outside of maybe Mo Bamba if Wendell Carter is out again. So Wendell Carter was out last game, and we did see Mo Bamba move into the starting lineup. Mo Bamba did play 28 minutes, and he was very productive, had 38 DK points in that time, 17 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Bamba's been a really good point per minute player just throughout his time with the Magic. He's not really been a great NBA player. He doesn't really get a ton of minutes often, but when he does step on the court, he can be good for DFS. He can score, he can rebound, he can block shots. He can get you those fantasy points, and if he's going to start again and play around 28 to 30 minutes, I do have a lot of interest in Mo Bamba, even at 5,500. So Mo Bamba, if Wendell Carter is out, is definitely my favorite play from the Magic. You could go to Cole Anthony, but at 6,700, I would just rather roster Darius Garland over Cole Anthony. So I don't really have that much interest in Cole Anthony. If Terrence Ross plays, I really don't even have that much interest in him. It's really just Mo Bamba if Wendell Carter's out, and that's probably it for the Magic. If Wendell Carter plays, I really don't like any Magic today. Just not a team that I have much interest in. With how deep they run, their rotation, they just play so many guys every day. Like you never feel like you have to roster any Magic because they're going to spread out the minutes. Nobody's ever going to play huge minutes. But Bamba is at least productive enough to where even if he only starts and plays 28 to 30 minutes, he can still give you 35, 40 DK points in that time because he's a really productive player. But that does it for the Magic side. So last game of the night, Sacramento Golden State. This is by far the most appealing game on the slate in my opinion. Two very fast-paced teams. Sacramento on the other side of this game, they are dealing with some injuries, or at least they have guys out. De'Aaron Fox not injured; he's out for COVID protocols. But with him out, that obviously changes a ton. De'Aaron Fox is the highest usage player on this team. He plays a ton of minutes. Getting him off the floor is gonna benefit a lot of these guys. And I think the first guy that we can look to right out of the gate is Tyrese Halliburton. I'm expecting Tyrese Halliburton to start at point guard. I'm pretty sure they've already come out and said that he's going to start at point guard while Fox is out. Halliburton, is not a guy that I've been rostering lately really at all. But now with De'Aaron Fox out, like Halliburton's floor, his upside is just so high. We know he's a guy that, when he has the ball in his hands, he can be super productive. He's a guy that can score, can get assists, can get rebounds. Like, I'm pretty sure Fox has missed a couple games already this year, and Halliburton had really good games when Fox was out. So clearly at 6,200, Halliburton's just way too cheap today. Halliburton should be like 7K, if not more than that. Like, Draftkings definitely whiffed here, not moving his price. I really don't know why they didn't move his price. At 6,200, Halliburton is a top play for me. Definitely my favorite guy overall from the Kings. And on Yahoo, he's also way too cheap over there. Only $19. He's a clear top option on Yahoo as well for me. So really like Halliburton. I think Harrison Barnes and Buddy Hield also get a little boost without Fox, but they're kind of priced appropriately. Barnes is almost 8K. I don't want to pay nearly 8K for Harrison Barnes. Buddy Hield is 7,300. I don't really want to pay that price tag for Buddy Hield. Rashawn Holmes is expected to play today, so maybe you could go to Rashawn Holmes at 6,900, but he hasn't played in almost 2 weeks, so it's likely that he's probably going to be on a minutes limit. We don't exactly know. With Holmes expected to play, though, I have no interest in Whiteside. Thank God I don't have to play Whiteside anymore. But the other guy I do want to mention from Sacramento is DeLon Wright. I do have a lot of interest in DeLon Wright today. 4,900. Obviously, without De'Aaron Fox, there's going to be a lot of minutes available in the backcourt. Even though Wright's not going to start, he should still get probably 25 to 30 minutes off the bench. Wright's been very productive with Sacramento. So far he's been a point per minute player. He's always been a relatively productive player when he does get minutes. Obviously, you saw what he did when he was with Detroit this season. Even when he was with the Mavs, he was a relatively good point per minute player when he got the opportunity to play. And now that there's no De'Aaron Fox, I'm expecting we're going to get big minutes from Halliburton, but I expect DeLon Wright to probably play close to 30 minutes off the bench. He's been getting good run regardless, and now without Fox, who plays a ton of minutes, we should get a lot of minutes. A lot of those minutes should go to DeLon Wright. He definitely has potential to be in the closing lineup. We've seen them close with DeLon Wright alongside Halliburton. They could definitely do that today. So even at 4,900, I still think DeLon Wright is a really good value play. He's a guy that I do have a lot of interest in as well from the Sacramento team. He looks really good on Yahoo too. If you want to play him on Yahoo, I have no problems with that. DeLon Wright, super cheap on Yahoo, only $11. I think he looks like a great value play over there as well. So that probably does it for Sacramento. Really, the two guards, Halliburton and Wright, are my main interest from the Kings, but you could go to Harrison Barnes, I guess. I would be a lot more likely to play Harrison Barnes and Buddy Hield on Yahoo because they're just a lot more affordable there. Buddy Hield's $21, Harrison Barnes is $25. I'd be a lot more likely to play them at those price tags rather than at their DK prices where they're almost 8K, 7,300. But we can go ahead and move on to the other side of this game and talk about the Warriors here. So on the Warriors, we know James Wiseman, Kent Bazemore, Damian Lee, Klay Thompson, all these guys going to remain out. That definitely changes a decent amount. We saw Jordan Poole get a decent amount of run off the bench last game. He did play 25 minutes, had 25 DK points. I think without Kent Bazemore, without Damian Lee, Jordan Poole is definitely one of the biggest beneficiaries. And one thing to note is that the Warriors have been running an insanely tight rotation lately. I'm pretty sure they only played like 7 guys or 8 guys last game. There's a good chance that Nico Manning hasn't been in the rotation. Gary Payton's barely played. Samalic hasn't been in the rotation. There's a good chance Curry, Green, Wiggins, Oubre, Poole, Toscano Anderson, Looney, and Mulder. Like those 8 guys, like there's a good chance those are the only 8 guys that touch the floor for the Warriors. So this is going to be a team you want to get exposure to. They're running, tight rotation right now. They're giving everyone heavy minutes. We're seeing Curry, Draymond play huge minutes. Kelly Oubre's been playing really well, even off the bench. He's been still getting big minutes. 32 minutes last game in a blowout against Denver. 37 the game before that. Even if Oubre comes off the bench again, I still like him a lot at 6,500. He's been playing really well. Obviously, Oubre is kind of a frustrating guy to roster because we saw, like in the halfway point of the season, there was definitely times during the season where Oubre was just terrible. He was just not a guy that you ever wanted to roster. He just couldn't do anything, but he's been a lot better lately. He's been scoring. He's been actually making shots. He's been rebounding. He's been getting defensive stats. Like Oubre kind of looks like his old self. At 6,500, if we're going to get like 32, 34 minutes from Oubre in a fast-paced game and a really good matchup, I would say that he's probably my favorite play from the Warriors today, and he's a guy that I do like a lot on DK. You could definitely play him on Yahoo as well, $23. I think I'd probably prefer Kevin Huerter for the savings, but Oubre makes plenty of sense and definitely stands out as a strong small forward option on Yahoo. So I like him a lot. I think Curry's a good pay-up option, but right now I'll probably put Westbrook and Giannis ahead of Curry. Curry would definitely be my third favorite stud, though, behind those 3 guys. Draymond, I think, is fine to play at 7,500. He doesn't really stand out as a top option for me, but definitely someone you can roster. Andrew Wiggins, I'm probably not going to go to. I'd just rather roster Oubre for cheaper. But like I mentioned earlier, I think Jordan Poole for 4,700 is an okay value play. If you want to go there, I don't mind him. Toscano Anderson, Looney, I don't have that much interest in. Like, they're just kind of priced, at 4K for JTA. I don't have that much interest in him at that price tag. I guess he's okay if he plays like 25, 26 minutes. He could give you, 25 DK points, but I think you do get a little bit more upside from a guy like Jordan Poole. Kevon Looney, just never a guy that I roster, just has no upside at all. Even when he plays big minutes, he only gives you like 20, 25 DK points. So I don't really want to go to Looney. Michael Mulder did start last game, and he did play 23 minutes. He's probably not going to play a ton, but if he starts again, 3,100, super cheap, I guess you could go there. But for me, I think Draymond, Curry, and I would say ranking the Warriors, I would say Kelly Oubre number 1, probably Curry 2, Draymond 3, and then Jordan Poole number 4. Those are the 4 guys I have the most interest in from Golden State. Probably not going to go to anyone else, though. So that does it for all 4 games on this short little Sunday slate, guys. I appreciate you watching the video, as always. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below before you do get out of here. Hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to click the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload. You get notified every time I live stream. Don't know yet if I'll be streaming Sunday afternoon or not. If I do go live, I'll probably be live around 4:30, 5 o'clock Eastern time. So if you want to check my channel then and see if I'm live, I might be live for Sunday. It's I'm not sure yet. We'll just have to wait and see. Normally I don't stream on the weekends, but I might go live if I want to. But regardless, guys, I wish you the best of luck on the slate. Hope you guys have a really good Sunday. Enjoy your day. Have a great day, guys. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.